morning, everybody. Pastor Randy Fry, Gower Christian Church. It's study day, so I'm at an undisclosed coffee production facility in North Kansas City. It is 7 minutes with the Savior, so we'll start it right now. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And I want you to think about a little bit more about this Sunday. I talked about this Sunday. I talked about Abram and the journey that he took, where he didn't know the end result, and it seems like that's a good metaphor for what's happening right now. We're on a journey, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be. There's so many things, so many variables about how worship is going to look like, what school, what work, just about every aspect of our life has uncertainty. We don't know how the journey is going to end for any of this stuff. And so Abram's a great model for us in terms of keeping the faith even when the outcome doesn't seem certain, or when we don't sense God really acting much. And I think a lot of people are in that place. But sometimes some of the good stuff you want to talk about hits the cutting room floor in the interest of time when you're preaching. And so the one thing I didn't talk about was the promises that Jesus made. For Abram, God just reminded him and assured him that the promises to have his own heirs and that he would be a great nation, that those promises were still good. And one thing I wanted to talk about but didn't really have time for was the promises of Jesus. Compassion International has a great website, and they posted some amazing promises that Jesus made, and I want to show those to you. So here's some great promises that Jesus made. Here's one we've talked about a lot from Matthew 11. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. John chapter 14, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Or here in John chapter 8, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. See if I can scroll down here a little bit. Here's one that Jesus quoted from Isaiah. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners. These are all promises that Jesus made that are our promises to us. And they're so important. Another one, I'm trying to scroll the screen down, and the wonders of technology, somehow I'm not able to do that right now. But another one that just sticks with me is at the very end of the Gospel of Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. And it's a promise that as we're faithful as disciples, as we do what Jesus asks us to do, to make disciples, to share, to teach people what Jesus taught, and to follow Jesus, and to help them grow as followers of Jesus. He said, you know what? First of all authority in heaven and earth is given to me, and he passes that authority on to us. And then he says, remember, I am with you always. And that's such an important reminder for us. Through all the craziness and the uncertainty, we have the promise. And if we have eyes to see, we know that it's true, that Jesus is with us no matter what's happening. And that Jesus is with us on that journey, whether it's in school, work, family, through illness, through church. The church is on a journey. It doesn't know where it's going to end up, always. But there's that promise of the peace and presence of Christ through the midst of all of this stuff. And I know that I talk about this a lot, but it seems like we just need regular reminding. And so that's what I wanted to do today, to kind of revise and extend my remarks. I didn't have time to get to this Sunday morning, but just as Abram was assured of God's promises, and that God was still there and still operating, still faithful to his promises, it's so important to hear Jesus' promises and understand that Jesus is still operating with the assurance of these promises. That's so important. Great. Keep some folks in mind. Continue to be praying for Ernie Mallon, who's in a rehab hospital in Lincoln, Nebraska, but hopefully his time there is coming to an end soon. Keep praying for Ernie Lawrenson, who's going through treatment, radiation treatment. Jody Nelson, recovering after receiving a kidney transplant, something she's waited for a whole long time. And then Hazel Mead. Hazel is recovering at home from an illness, and just keep praying for her in these days. Important things to remember, ministry things. Worship, of course, 10:30. Got Bible study via Zoom Wednesday evening and Thursday morning. I'll be back with you Thursday morning with 7 Minutes with the Savior. I announced on Sunday that our youth ministry will be resuming in October, and also we are hoping to resume church mice in October. Of course, that's all contingent on whether we can get volunteers who are able to help right now. So those are tentative plans, and we're still working out the details for that. But we are planning to offer additional ministry, especially focused on children and youth, coming up in October. So keep those in mind. We'll get the details out on those. I imagine that whatever children's and youth ministry we begin doing, it'll be a lot like school, so we'll masks and physical distancing and all the sort of things that they're learning to practice in school. We're going to continue with that. So keep that in mind as well. And I see that I didn't fade myself back in. There I am. Sorry about that. Anyway, my time is up. Keep those prayer things in mind, and also just we'll keep you tuned and updated on ministry stuff coming forward. So thanks for watching, and until we meet again, whatever that looks like, I bid you peace.